Do you remember how you kind of transitioned from that to then eventually, being the voice reader for Scooby, and obviously things progressed from there?
Well, I was before I got Scooby Doo. I was a voice artist for about 5 years on the Gold Coast. So it was Warner Brothers Studios, where they make amazing films. There's 9 studios there now. It's a massive complex. But back in the '90s, it was just in the starting phase of them establishing themselves as a film centre, the Gold Coast. So um, I was doing lots of. I had the opportunity. I worked at Warner Brothers Movie World in the Police Academy stunt show, a theme park, and that was supposed to go for 18 months, and it went for 18 years. So it was hugely successful. And through that, I had a friend who was directing voices for the TV series that were currently running then. Beastmaster with Heath Ledger and Lost World and all these sorts of TV shows and feature films, to come in and revoice other actors. There's a lot of Australians in the shows, and maybe their accents weren't right, or the voice pitch wasn't right. So I'd actually revoice them, and also do all the background actors, and so I was doing ADR in the studio at Warner Brothers, and that's when the opportunity came to be the voice reader on set. So that one, I mean, they shot Scooby Doo 1 at the studios in 2001, and yeah, I auditioned like every other voice artist in the country for that role, because it was the biggest thing, that was probably the biggest voice opportunity in the world at the time, because going back 20 years, live action was very, very new. We were breaking ground. As a reference, we only really had Roger Rabbit, which was totally different cartoon sort of feel, but this was actually going to be Scooby in the movie. So interacting seamlessly at the time. So, I mean, you could probably do that animation on your phone now, but back then it took 100 animators, literally, to build Scooby in the computer. And so that opportunity came up, and I was successful in getting the voice readers role. And so I was working with all the cast, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. and all the gang. And so whenever Scooby was called to set on the call sheet, I'd go along, and I was just in civilian clothes, with talking to the actors, acting the role to the actors. So bringing Scooby to the set, and because it's very difficult, because he's not there, of course, very difficult for the actors to act to nothing. They're acting. If I wasn't there, they'd be acting to an X, and someone would just be reading the dialogue, just a Rikes, Raggy, Raronsta. I mean, it just doesn't. It, the time frame doesn't go for the guide track that they're recording. I was recorded, obviously, for the rushes that go back to the States at the time, and they really liked what I was doing, and it was an opportunity to put your best foot forward, and just do the best you can. I was able to actually provide dialogue options for the director, for Raja. I'd go and see him and say, "Look, I think Scooby would say something. He would say this here. What do you think?" And he'd say, "Yep, look." He was fantastic in the fact that he gave me that chance to do an alternative, and he said, "Oh, we'll use it or not," and they used pretty much all of them, which was great. Little bits and pieces here and there. So I've contributed to the actual character in lots of ways, and then it all went on from there.